Welcome back to yet another episode of On VJ's Playlist, and I'm joined today by the Fortune, this lovely duo that's based in Raipur and in Chennai. We have Dr. Dhananj, Shivganesh, and Nikhil Pradip joining us. Um, Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us here.
This is interesting, guys. How did it happen that a doctor and an engineer, I mean, two people hailing from such academically rich backgrounds decided to take up music eventually?
So, like how we met is actually a very funny story that it's from our pre-university times when I was in +1, +2 time that we used to go to a tuition center that's like after school thing for our chemistry classes. And then that was the time when I was like got really interested in the Western, like modern Western music and pop and stuff. So I was already, I learned piano for like Trinity College of London for 8 years and did the grade exams and stuff. So I was into that. And then I got interested into this kind of music and I wanted to try my hand at it. So that's when I got to learn about different digital audio workstations and everything like FL Studio, all this stuff. And when I had a friend there who was also interested in singing, and then we collaborated on a couple of songs. And that's when I hear this guy rapping that song, Look at Me Now, from back row, and he was rapping that song. I turned back and looked at him like, who is like he want to do is we are planning something together. If you want, you can also join. So he was very interested in it, and he joined, and then that's how it started. And then we made a couple of songs, and then I went into my medical college, Ashik both went into engineering, and like we didn't even contact each other. We used to send like birthday message, birthday and stuff. And then thanks to COVID in 2020, we both of us had some time, and then we reconnected. And that's when Nikhil had already become a sound engineer by then. So he kind of helped me set up my whatever studio setup I have right now. And things have been going fine from then. So the Ashik could not join actually because he's currently busy with his own like website company and stuff. So yeah, it's just me and Nikhil. And so we kind of were lacking a singer. So what we planned was, okay, we'll do one thing, we'll collaborate with all these other artists and we'll try to grow together with them. So that's our motto. It's like, let's collab, bro.
Yes, Nikhil?
Yeah, that's it. I guess he pretty much sums up the entire story. The main reason why Fortune is currently making music is all thanks to COVID, believe it or not. But yeah, there were some like good things regarding COVID. I mean, a lot of people actually started getting into the arts and entertainment side of things. People start taking music and other sources like non-conventional sources of education more seriously. And I guess as a byproduct, we always had music in our hearts, and we could reconnect because of it.
So will Ashik eventually complete the Fortune, or y'all are hopeful that y'all will continue as a duo, and the trio is something that you feel will eventually fall in place?
Honestly saying, we don't know. Thing is, like, we don't know because Ashik is also like he has his own company and he's like busy. We've actually invited him, and the thing is, like, he actually join us. I'm pretty sure about it. But the thing is, like, he doesn't have time to spare. He has to run behind like managing things for his company. It's basically kind of like an IT enabled service provider. So I mean, yeah. So I guess he'll be like busy in his own world. For me, music is my life. So I work in a studio. I teach audio and all those things. So I'll be making music one day or the other. And Dhananj also has like music running in his blood. So I guess for the time being, anyways, we can definitely say that we are going to be a duo. But like we don't know what the future holds for us. Maybe someday we might be a trio. Someday we might be an entire band. But we never know.
Right.
In fact, Ashik has like working on a few behind the scenes work website, official website, and also he's also a very excellent artist. So he did like one cover art for the song also he did. So he's kind of working also with us, but then not officially with us.
Yeah, not in the musical manner, like how we wanted to, but
not
in the musical. But he's been always helping us.
Or more of the behind the scenes person, you mean?
Yeah.
Clearly, you guys happen to be a lockdown discovery. And for me personally, the first time I was introduced to the duo was because of a beautiful collaboration that they did called Our Sanctuary earlier this year with two of my personal favorites, Takar Nabam from Arunachal Pradesh and Mahesh Raghunandan from Bangalore. How did you reach out to two such diverse singer-songwriters in their own right? Because their influences are different, their style is different, and of course, even their range and their body of work is completely diverse. So I know that Dhananj really particularly digs into a lot of, musical talents from across the world. And I'm sure, Nikhil, you also have an allotted time for yourself where you are constantly researching and, looking into and learning about more artists. But what made you guys believe that Takar and Mahesh were the voices that you wanted for Our Sanctuary?
Dhananj, you want to start off?
So, yeah. So like the way we made Our Sanctuary was actually I had went to Nikhil's place for a photo shoot like back in I think last year. So around this time, exactly 1 year, 1.5 years back. So at that time we were discussing the latest music trends and everything, and we were thinking, okay, like some disco is kind of coming up. So we wanted to try something on that. Yeah, we wanted to try something on that end. And so I went back. I was like, okay, I'll do something. So I made a very like basic demo without any guitars, just like fully computer program kind of demo. And then I sent it over to Nikhil, and he immediately said, "Bro, this needs a very good chucking guitar style." So I was like, okay, let's do something. We'll collaborate with a good guitarist, and then we'll also find out other people to collaborate with. Let's make it into a proper collaboration and do something like that. So I had already heard Takar's music from a bunch of his songs before, and as well as he had also collaborated with one of our previous collaborators, the Zenclef. So he did a song called Too Deep In. So that song I heard it, and the guitar licks and everything was like very exquisite, and I loved it so much. So I asked Zenclef, like, how is this guy? Is he approachable? Can I just ask him about this? And he was like, yeah, he's kind like the nicest person you can talk to. Whatever he feels right, he will say it to you. So I just messaged him on Instagram, and I just sent him the track, and he heard it. He was like, okay, we can do this. And then it was all magic from Takar. He gave me a guitar chucking kind of style, which was like, it really reminded me of Nile Rodgers kind of guitar playing. So he just layered it on top of the song, and I completely went bonkers. I was like, oh, this song is already done. So then like Mahesh's profile, and then he was like, okay, just check this guy out, maybe he might work. And I listened to his track, and I found that he was like completely different from what we are going for, but his vocal techniques and everything, like I felt like he will be a very good like artist. And then if Nikhil is like pitching an artist to me, I know that okay, he must be having a brilliant idea about what this artist is capable of, because he has been working with so many artists. So I was like, okay, let's go for it. And then I messaged Mahesh, and he heard the song. He also felt the same. The first thing he told me was, bro, this is completely different from what I have been doing till now, but I am really interested. And especially because Takar is also in it. Then I was like, okay, then let's do it. So that's how it came to be. And then Mahesh also went on to like, once he started working on the song, he got really interested. He wrote the lyrics, his lyrics, the female lyrics, and also he made sure every takes were perfect. And the rest of it, I think the technical stuff, Nikhil will be better in explaining.
Yeah, it was one of the, I mean, we rarely actually meet the artist before, like in person, we rarely meet. And even this song, we kind of actually didn't meet at all. But the thing is, like, for this particular song, the most important thing is that we had like multiple discussions face to face, via Zoom itself. And we used to schedule each Zoom meeting in advance, maybe like 2 weeks in advance. Like, let's say Friday, we are meeting at 8 o'clock to discuss what the song needs to do. And then we will sit there for like 2-3 sittings, maybe like over a week's period, we'll be having multiple meetings, and then we'll have some revisions here and there. And we wanted to make sure that the sound, everything is like coming together well with the song. So that was also like very special compared to the other songs, which we rarely do, because the artists have their own creative freedom with us. And we always respect the artist's freedom, and all of us are artists, so it is very important that we respect each other's freedom. And here in this case, all of us were like in the same page. And once Mahesh was like interested, Mahesh was like, yeah, I'll write down the lyrics. Then he wrote down the lyrics. We sat together, we discussed about the lyrics, and again we sat together. We talked to Takkar about the guitar solo. Maybe like we'll add a different solo that might actually match the energy a bit more. Then we changed the guitar solo and all that. And it was actually quite fun. It was an open-minded discussion. All of us like on the same page. I think that is really important whenever you are making music. All the artists involved should be having that same aim towards the music, and thankfully we had that. So all four of us were exactly on the same page. And the female vocals were also done abroad, actually. It was a Maltese, Malta. The singer was actually from Malta. She goes by the name Hazel, and she also did a very good job. She did what we wanted, and she delivered the vocals and everything. You know the rest, the output is there. So go stream it.
Of course, the Fortune, we gather here to talk about your latest EP, Someone Else Than You, and the title or track of the EP, which again goes by the same name, by which you guys have, done in collaboration with Vandita Narayan. I believe, like every other artist that Dhananj has, managed to, look through and really research well. I think you all heard Vandita Narayan also for the first time through Walking Piece of Mind. For Walking Piece of Art. And clearly, what beautiful range of vocals does she possess? And clearly, was that the reason what convinced that she was the vocalist you needed for Someone Else Than You?
This is an artist that I pitched to Nikhil, I believe. Yeah. So
Yeah,
what
exactly.
I did was like, I heard this song. Like I like really follow this Rolling Stone India's like the song releases and
Yeah.
exclusive premieres. So I got to hear this song, this video. Like the title, it's a walking piece of art, and I see a picture of a beautiful girl on the like the thumbnail. And then I was like intrigued, and I saw the music video, and it was like really well made and very well produced. And it was just a very properly done kind of song. So I really loved what she did with her vocals on that song. It was like not too energetic and not too low also. It was like in that mid range where it's like kind of laid back and chill kind of stuff. And that song really impressed me. And then when we made this song, I had her in mind. Okay, her voice will be perfect for this song. So I just sent that same song, the Working Piece of Art, to Nikhil. And there, by the like, bro, I think she might be the voice for this song. And he also heard it, and he was like, yeah, we can contact her. And then again, as usual, I just messaged, DM'd her on Instagram. Thankfully, she was already following us. So when I asked her, she was like already very much interested. She was like, I will definitely be interested in working with it. And then again, Vandita also, like Nikhil had already written the rap part of the song, and then we didn't know what to write. Like the initial first verse of the song, Vandita wrote, because the melody was already set, and she kind of wrote her own lyrics on that part, and that's how the collab came to be. And about Nikhil.
Yeah, so I think this was one of the fastest, it was one of the fastest songs that I wrote, to be honest. The moment I heard the song, the moment I heard the drop and everything, I was like, okay, this needs a mellow rap. So this needs kind of like a mumble rap / mellow rap, kind of like a thing for the second verse. And I just wrote it down. I don't know. It took me like, I don't know. We wrote it down in an hour. We had the sketch. Beat. Dhananj sent over the sketch beat. I wrote down the rap, sent it back to him. In like an hour's time or 1 hour 15 minutes or something like that, and then the next day morning we kind of actually had the 90% version of the beat. Then all the things that were remaining was actually the fine tuning things, like that pitch shifts, the harmony arrangements, and all those little things that the ear candy, kind of like the details that you have in a song. That was all that was left. And after that I was like completely, I didn't have any idea what to write for the verse. I was asking Dhananj, just give me like 2 lines or 2 or 3 words so that I can start off with the verse. Maybe then I can like try something for the verse. And unfortunately, both of us, we aren't getting any of the words for it. Then luckily, Vandita actually accepted the pitch, and then she came into play. And then we gave her some time to write, and within a week or so, I mean, she actually wrote down the first verse, and then we corrected out the rest of the lyric, and then I recorded it here, obviously. And Vandita actually went to some studio in Bangalore, and then she sent her vocals. But the thing was like the first initial vocal mood, we actually were like on different pages. Uh, Probably because of the we're not seeing each other face to face now, so probably because of that we had some difference in idea. And second, we had a discussion after that. We told her, yeah, this is what we want. We want a much more laid back kind of like, easy going kind of like an approach, but not too something that is not too intense at all. At the same time, it should be a little bit intense. So she heard it, she heard our feedback, and then she gave us a demo, and we loved it, obviously. And then we re-recorded the entire thing. Again, I guess we had one more take for the rap portion, if I'm correct. I don't remember. I think we took the rap a couple of times because Vandita was like very new to it, and we had to like teach her how to, that flow and all. It had to like come really well. So that was it.
Nikhil, when we do you remember the first time you wrote a few lines and you actually discovered the knack that you have for writing, and you felt that okay, this is something you could be good at?
Well, to be honest, I remember the first time I wrote something other than the stuff on my English exams were like Dhananj forcing me to write a song. I mean, the whole content of the song was like we need something that was like a little bit explicit. So I was like, hey, maybe if you have time, just try something like that. And we tried something like that. It took me like I don't know. It took me a lot of time. It took me days, in fact, to have like around 30 to 48 lines for the song. But and then later I tried writing another
really
song.
embarrassing. Looks like it's really something embarrassing because Dhananj has been hiding his face and you are trying to suppress your grin. So what is going on?
The thing is, as I said before, we were like teenagers. We didn't know a lot of things. We don't have the life experience at that time. So it's more or less like a fantasy with some explicit content. And it honestly, it wasn't something that Dhananj wanted, but it became something like that. The Dhananj was like something like maybe like a little bit aggressive, but it completely went in a different direction once the song came out. And I don't know, at that time, all of Dhananj's relatives were like listening to the music. Thank God they don't understand the lyrics, otherwise it would have been like...
Yeah, they're all replying in the comments like, yeah, very nice music. I don't understand the lyrics, but it's very nice. Like, oh, thank
It's
God
very
you're not
nice.
understanding the lyrics.
It's completely like wordplay and double meaning. So it's like
Ouch.
every other line is basically like intending to mean something else. But yeah, and after that we also wrote I guess one more song that we haven't published it yet. We recorded that in the studio, right? That day we wrote it in the car that day. That was
Okay.
we wrote it. I wrote something, a small rap was in the car, and but we didn't publish it. And after that we were on hiatus for like 6 to 7 years, and then I came to join sound engineering in Chennai, and like at that time I like got the opportunity to work with an artist. He's a drummer, a keyboardist, and a vocalist. So he's like a drum prodigy over here. So he plays with Shivganesh sir, Rajesh Vaidya, and like people at that level, like Louis Banks, etc., and so forth. So he's a kid actually. He's a grade 8. He's like the youngest person in the world to finish grade 8 Trinity drums. So I got a chance to work with him, and his dad actually asked me whether I could write something for him, because like I used to like mumble some words here and there. I used to like rap here and there, and they thought maybe like I can write something for him. And they asked me to write a song about seasons. So it was basically kind of like they asked me to write something about the rain in June. It kind of, because it rains in some parts of India in June, so that's why. So like the summer rains and all. So they wanted somebody to write something about June, and I honestly still believe that came out like a poem rather than a song. So we kind of made it like that, but we had the metering and all set, and that came up. And then after that, what happened was they gave me another song to write. So he was a kid at that time, so he has like millions and millions of followers, first of all, on YouTube and all. So every song will be reaching like 500,000, 600,000 at that level. So he wanted something written about his mom, and that song kind of like changed my life. And I wrote something about moms in general, so that we could release it for like Mother's Day and stuff. So we want like a tribute to all the mothers, kind of like that. It's kind of like a pop ballad, not a pop ballad per se, but kind of like an 80s pop ballad,
Yeah.
to be more precise. So we wrote something like that, and that picked up well. Right now it is almost verging like a million or something. Uh, that gave me the confidence. Then I realized, okay, maybe like I can do this. Then what happened was like they gave me another song to write. I became much better with that. They gave me another song to write. I became even better with that. And then we did a couple of songs for Fortune in the meanwhile. So we did that. And the Fortunes, I guess, the first song, the reunion first song, what was the song name, Dhananj? I forgot, sorry.
The
The
old
first song,
times.
Old Times, Old Times. So we did that as well. So we did that. Then COVID news, I didn't write anything. Then I guess we wrote something for some, Not Here For You, I guess, right? Not a Hero. Did
Okay
I
for
write
you.
something? Yeah, I guess
Yeah, you
some bits. We
rapped in
just did some
it.
corrections. Yeah, did some
Yeah.
corrections. That's all. And then later this song is there. Someone Else Than You. So Someone Else Than You, it came to me immediately. So just yesterday I wrote another song for that same other artist, and yeah, we could do it easily. It was like about world peace and unity, kind of like a Michael Jackson like esque production, like a fusion jazz production. So we did that as well. So now I have the confidence to write something. If you give me something, I'll give an entire concept within the day.
You can just
If I
become a
have the time, I'll.
wordsmith.
Not exactly a wordsmith. Obviously, I use technology. My grammar isn't that great. I come from Kerala, which is a small town, small state in India. So I don't have that
I'm
good of
not
an
sure
English.
how
So
I'm not sure how Keralites watching this are going to feel about it.
no problem. It's my state, so I have every right to comment on. So it's like it's fine.
Wow.
Most of the people watching are going to be from Kerala. So yeah. So the thing is like,
We
yeah, I
love you
wrote it
people.
down. Dude, Kerala's the best, man. uh, I still miss it though. Okay, anyways,
Yeah.
coming back to topic. So yeah, the thing is like I use technology a lot. So certain times I don't have the words, but I know what I want at that particular portion. I know I when I write a line, I know what the next line should be. Now I can think like that now. So I just use that as a reference, use technology, use all the available resources at my disposal, and then just use it to write. That's all. Like it's not like I sit with a piece of paper and I was like, first line, second line. No, it doesn't happen to me. So I use a lot. I'm still on the learning process, so I try to use whatever resources are available. That's it.
Um, Same question on the same lines to you, Dhananj. When did you realize that production, composition, this is something that you were keen on doing? Of course, like I mentioned at the start of the interview in my introduction, that while one is a doctor, the other is an engineer, and you are a resident doctor, I believe. So in between
Yeah.
all the practice and in between all the research on the medicine side, how do you find time to sample between different beats and arrangements?
For me, like first of all, like I said, I am a piano player, so that's my main thing. So after that, then I got introduced to this Western like modern music by my friend. Actually, is Venkatesh. He's a common friend of both of us. So he introduced me to all this different kind of music, and it really intrigued me. Like, how do they make these sounds? Then I realized that they are not actually using any like instruments. There are so many synthesizers. So I'm hearing all that for the first time. Then I got to learn about all these workstations and everything, and I like all these technical side of things I was really interested in. So I tried to see the YouTube videos and all that, and got into like while I was preparing for my entrance. So at that in the morning and then at night I'll go back and search on YouTube for all this how to use FL Studio. At that time I think it's called Fruit Loops, if I
Fruity
remember
Loops,
right.
Fruity Loops.
So Fruity Loops. So I will be like, okay, how to make this sound on Fruity Loops. So that's how I discovered most of the stuff. So YouTube is like the biggest teacher for me in
Yeah.
that case. And then like I said before, Nikhil got into this audio engineering and he became a pro in all that stuff. So now I just ask him, look, bro, what kind of sound should I use here? And this is the idea I have in mind. So how I get these ideas, I really don't know. I just like some days it just clicks while I'm taking a shower. Sometimes I am just like riding my cycle in the night. Then I get an idea and then it just sticks with me. And then I just take my phone and record that tune and keep it like for later. Then when sometime later, like after a couple of days, maybe couple of weeks, couple of months later, I'll just go back to this, and it will again, like I'll get to feel that same emotion I felt when I like recorded that tune. So then I'll be like, okay, this can be something. And then mostly I'll be like, I'll do a basic arrangement of what minimal instruments and everything, and then I'll send it to Nikhil and ask for a confirmation from him, because he knows like what works and what doesn't. So I'll be like, do you think this can be a next fortune song? So he'll be like, okay, this will work, or this won't work, or you need to do something about this or something about that, or he'll be like the judge of that. And then if he gives it an like initial seal of approval, then I'll go back and hunt for the different sounds and work on different things. Then rest of it, I feel like for me, music is not a side thing, just as anesthesia or medicine is. Like I feel like both are my main things. So it's like I don't see myself as a part-time musician. I'd rather be a full-time anesthesiologist and a full-time musician. So it's like both are just two sides of me, and I like both of it equally. So there is no like it just came like I'll work at the hospital from like till 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Then I'll come back. Then I'll maybe sometimes hit the gym, sometimes I don't. Then I'll sit with the music for a couple of hours, and every day sitting like that and doing something, and kind of works. I don't know if it's like a sometimes when when I have thesis to write, and like now it kind of difficult to like concentrate on one more than the other. But other than like other times, it's like I don't find any difficulty in doing both. It's good. I'll say it's good. It's like a very relieving thing for me that I can release the stress that I have at work with the music I make. So it's actually kind of like it kind of keeps me sane. It's like a mental well-being thing for me.
For our viewers who are watching, this is actually the second or possibly the third time that the Fortune and I have been desperately trying to put this interview together in place. We've been, trying to overcome a lot of roadblocks in the process of putting this interview out there for you. But the first time that we tried recording this interview, Nikhil came up with a very interesting revelation about himself. Where he said that the first song that he had ever heard in life was Barbie Girl, and it can't get better than that. And this is not me trying to judge him. This is so amusing that your first introduction to music can happen through a song which is not particularly something that most men I'm aware of would ever hear, or it's not the immediate song that anybody would recall. But Nikhil, just so that we can revisit that conversation for everybody watching this, how did Barbie Girl, plant that first germ inside you that, okay, music is what you would want to do eventually?
Okay, Barbie Girl I believe Barbie Girl was the first Western song that I've ever listened to. This was like when I was like really small. Okay, the first song that I have in my memory was Rahman. I don't remember if the timing is correct or not, but the song that I remember like singing to when I was a kid was Rahman's Vande Mataram. I mean, Rahman says Vande Mataram. It's like amazing, that section like Amma Tuche Salam, Ma Tuche Salam. That section is like I used to like sing it all the time. And then my mom got married young, so obviously like she used to listen to a lot of Western music at that time. So for some reason we had this I guess it was Star World or something. I don't remember the channel name or something. We were lucky enough to have cable during the 90s. So when this song came up, I think mom was like, mom loved the visuals, so mom used to always keep it. And I used to love that part where that Ken used to have his arm detached from his body at the end. I mean, Barbie used to like pull off Ken's arm and rip it apart, and I used to love it. And subconsciously it got stuck into my head, and I used to like sing come Barbie, let's go party. Yes, that was it. And that was the first English song that I remember. Then later like my dad introduced me to a lot of old school songs. Then we had this CD collection like old 80s and 90s like Bryan Adams, Bee Gees, ABBA, then obviously Aqua. Then Aqua has some pretty nice songs. For those people who don't know, please go check Aqua songs. They have some really good pop songs. Like Wait For Me Sunshine is an amazing song, by the way. And Backstreet Boys, obviously, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Eminem, Tupac, Snoop Dogg, Biggie, Nas. Like my song inspirations are like completely varied. And to be honest, I learned a little bit of Carnatic music back in the day. I learned it for like 7 years or something. And the thing is, like, I never practiced Carnatic music. I always loved the way the Western vocals and Western music sounded. And, that's how I got attached to music. And then, I got attached to the technical side of it. I mean, once you get attached to the technical side of music, it's really hard coming back. And here I am. So it's a slow process, but yeah, it was a good one.
Dhananj, do you want to revisit your early influences? Who are your inspiration towards taking up music?
Talking about my inspirations, it's like the first song I think I ever heard was Akon's Smack That. So that was
Yeah,
my
that was a good
introduction. And then one more this song, this guy Usher's song, that yeah. So these are the two songs that I first listened to. That also came from Venkateshi. We used to like, there was this at that time, there was this Bluetooth song sharing thing. So we used to keep the phone below the bench and make sure like after 1 hour it will share two songs. So then I'll go back and listen to it. So I heard this song. That for me, he didn't even name the songs properly. So I was also a naive kid. So I thought that Usher was the name of the song. So I used to tell everybody, have you heard Usher? This is a beautiful song. And then that's how I got introduced to this kind of music. And I was like really impressed with how the songs and different sounds, it was like completely different from what you hear on our movies and everything. And the sound, everything is like, like when you put it on your headphones itself, you can feel a difference. Then I got interested in that. So for that audio experience, I got to listen to different kind of artists. Then I personally started like searching for artists, and I found this guy Bruno Mars. He is like one of my favorite guys of all time. So I listen to his songs. I sing his songs, like not professionally, but I sing his songs and everything. It's all like he's one of my favorite artists. Then the next person, if you, nowadays, like right now, I'm more into independent artists because I obviously search a lot of independent artists for my music, and it's all like you can name this interview like thanks how Spotify helped these two artists collaborate with other artists, because it's like I start listening to Spotify and there is this amazing playlist called Discover Weekly. They just update it with it's an algorithmic playlist. They update with like bunch of songs that you would definitely enjoy on every Monday. So like Monday morning, my main routine is I wake up, I work out, I put the playlist on. So then I'll listen to these songs, then I'll discover these artists, then I'll go back and find them on Instagram and message them. And like with that just Discover Weekly alone, I discovered a bunch of new artists like Kaino, with whom we collaborated on a song, Move Ahead. And then even in this EP, there is a song called The End of Us. So it is by this artist Pyramid, and all these people are like inspirations to me. So his song, one of his songs, like Color Rise, it was like a really a learning experience for me, where he used a different sounds and I couldn't decode it. So I asked him like, what has he done in this, why is this so good? Then he gave me a lot of tips, and like then I contacted Pyramid as well, and he also was like really interested in what we were doing and how we were marketing and how we were going with this process. And that song also came up. And like nowadays, I'm working with my inspirations right now. It's like a it's like a dream come true thing. But then there is one artist that I really love that I haven't got the chance to ever talk to. This Ben Kessler. He makes kind of very mellow kind of music. One of his songs with this artist Lizzie McAlpin. Lizzie McAlpin is like becoming really big right now.
Yes.
So he had a song with her together. It's called False Heart. So that song, like I heard it at a perfect point in my life where I was kind of going through a situation similar to that. So that song really resonated in me. Then I went on listening to his different music, and I take a lot of inspiration from his the way he approaches his music and his reels and everything. And he is one of my big inspirations right now. And other than that, like the usual, everybody is like almost all big artists and even Indian artists. singers, everybody is like a huge inspiration to me. I am not a big guy. Like within the fortune, it's like I am the fan and he is the master. So it's like I just scribble things and get back to Nikhil and he will decide what to do with the songs. So I am more of the emotional person in this duo.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
I'll agree.
except for
I'll
the
agree to
last
the last part.
the last bit, I think is something all of us would agree with, because clearly Dhananjay is the more expressive and the more emotive one, I could say, between the two of you.
Yeah, correct. That's exactly true. Like, I mean, I still remember like talking to Dhananj when we started Fortune, because I also kind of like produce, I do some EDM stuff and all. Mostly like I keep it for myself, not for publishing and stuff, and all these stuff. So one thing I realized was like whenever I was making music, I used to sit with the music, and then the next day you come back to it, and then you'll always feel like something is missing. No matter how good the song that you made is, you'll always feel like something is missing. And that was something that I remember like telling Dhananj, then because I got inside the industry, and I've been lucky enough to work with more than like 200 singers so far in my career, and I've been lucky enough to like record some of the biggest names in India.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and after that I've understood something. So when you're recording them, it is all about time here. It's all about time. Time is like super important. It's a high pressure environment where time is money, man. One
Yeah.
or 10 seconds you waste, they will just simply get back to you and they'll be like, I'm gonna like destroy you so badly, man. So it's like everybody is like that. They're paying for your services, they're paying for their time, they're wasting their time and coming here to the studio and then recording. So this actually taught me one thing. It's like once the song is done, then the emotional part has to like always detach. You have to detach from the emotional side of the song. And I still remember like telling Dhananj, I mean, he was like talking on and on and on about like the first couple of songs that we
Yeah.
released after the Fortune like got back together. And at that time, I had some free time, but at the same time, to be very honest, he was like completely annoying. So I told him, dude, you don't do this. He
Your
knows. I've told him
power.
also. I've told him
Yeah.
also. So it's like fine. So it's like, dude, you do this. So whatever you're making is good, but there comes a point in time where you have to detach yourself from the song, and then the song is a product that you're pitching to the people. Then the
Yeah.
people has to decide whether they should accept it or not. So the
Hmm.
the next important part is, no matter how much money we got, we'll do with what we can. So we
Yeah.
don't do like huge, like we don't invest a ton of money into marketing. With whatever money we have, we just put a little bit of resources for the production. We put a little bit of resources for marketing as well, so that more people can listen to it. And if they like vibe with it, well and good for us. That's all. So that's one of the things that you always have to consider while making a song. At the end of the day, it's a product.
It's like
So that is
Nikhil ended up, speaking everything in one answer that, I feel like I've fallen short of questions right now. But on the lighter side, guys, these are two very good-looking Chamata Mallu boys out here. So when you all are detached from your work and otherwise, when you are chilling with family and friends, um, what is the most Mallu thing that you can think of that comes to your mind? Or I mean, since Nikhil is kind of missing home right now as we speak. So when you're back home, Nikhil, with your folks, what's the most Mallu thing that you can do?
And with respect to Kerala, I'm a person who has a lot of friends in Kerala. So whenever I'm in Kerala, I really don't. To be honest, I had some time with my family for the past 1.5 years.
Yeah.
But before that, like even during the lockdowns and all, I was always like chilling someplace. We used to like after the holiday resorts and all opened. So we every weekend I used to be going to like some place like Varkala or Alapi or Munnar. I'd be like just simply chilling there. That is my like we don't do a lot of things. I just like traveling. I just like going places. I'll sit in the car, looking at the trees and all those things. I'm that kind of a person. So I just look at the places and I take a few pictures as well. I just take it on my phone with whatever I have. I just take it on my phone. I stay at a particular place, then go to another place, then I come back. So I love traveling. So whenever I'm not in Chennai and I go back to Kerala, eating and traveling are my go-to things. So that's what I miss. Whenever I'm working inside the industry, it's completely hectic. So it's like it's really good to take a break.
Dhananj?
For me, going back to Kerala is all about being with my parents. I miss them a lot because I don't get to like. Actually, it was a kind of like till last month it was kind of difficult for all three of us. Like I am me, mom, and dad. All three of us were in three different places. So we
Okay.
have this one WhatsApp group that's called My Sweetie. So it's just the three of
My
us.
what?
So that was My Sweetie. So that's the WhatsApp group that me, my dad, and my mom are there.
That's what
So
Dhananj's mom and dad calls him, sweetie.
Sweetie.
they used to
Wow.
sometimes they'll call
This, it can't get more feminine than this. So one likes Barbie girl and the other one is called Sweetie in his house. Wow. You're in a sweetie goody.
this guy is this guy is dropping bombs.
One after the other,
Okay.
no? So brutal.
So it's all about like going home and then being pampered by them. Now thankfully, like mom and dad are like together. Because of work, they were like she is also a government servant. Dad is also a government servant. So they're like posted in different areas. So they had to live in different places for year. But now thankfully they are back together, like in the same house. And I get back, I go home whenever I can. It's like once in every 6 months or something. That's my whenever I can. And so going back home, it's like just like laying in bed for me. I'll just lay. There's no call. Nobody's calling in the morning to ask you about today's patients. Nobody's calling you to ask you about, did you remove that epidural you put yesterday? Or did you load the drugs properly? Nothing. Then I'll be just sleeping, chilling in my bed. And I'll be like, bring coffee, bring food, whatever you want. You pamper me as much as you want. I'll be here for 4 5 days. So that's my, and then food, if you talk about food, my favorite food as of like going back to Kerala is Kottu Parota. It's like,
Yeah, we had that here, no? Chennai.
yeah. Even when I went to Chennai, I made Nikhil buy that from at midnight at 12 o'clock.
Midnight or something.
I was like, I need Kottu Parota right now. So he bought on. So like when I go home, it's like, that's my favorite thing. And then banana chips. That's also another
Oh,
thing.
yeah, that's good. That's a good
I
one.
used to be like I am an ex gym guy, but now but banana chips is something I've never stopped. Like even when I used to go to gym or anything, I'll be like eating banana chips like anything.
This has been lovely, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, Barbie girl, and sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. But lastly, the fortune, this has been really, really amazing talking to both of you. And I'm very thankful for the wonderful music that you guys keep making. And I wish you all the very best. Can't wait for the more amazing collaborations you're about to bring our way. Dhananj, please keep going. Please keep with your, your ritual of digging up Spotify playlists, because how else will you discover wonderful artists, and how else will you collaborate, and how else will we eventually get to hear such amazing compositions. Many congratulations for all the love and reception that you all are receiving for someone else than you, and hope to speak to you again.
Yeah, thank you, Vijayalakshmi. It's been wonderful talking to you.